Hello and welcome to another session of GitPython maintenance. It's Byron speaking, and we are looking at issue 349. Config parser doesn't handle config files that have options with no value. Alright, so there's not much to that ticket, but there is an example that should help me to reproduce it. It's one of these tickets that have been made in a hurry, and certainly there's a reason for the person to be in a hurry, but also I know for sure that I tend to handle tickets earlier if they are, well, if you put some time in it, if you really try to help me to fix it. If it's a quick shot, then usually I don't want to spend any time of myself either, because, yeah, I don't know, but I will handle it anyway. Even though I have the tendency just at a first glance to say, well, I don't necessarily want to be able to handle this. So first of all, let's see what Git does if that happens. Oh, yeah, my machine freshly rebooted, but that should be all right. So I can have repository configuration here in... Oh, okay, so this particular repository is actually a submodule of some other repository, so that's just a Git file here that I can't really mess with right now. So let's set myself up real quick, and yeah, let's have a look at some Rust repository. Maybe this one. Okay, so now I can manipulate the git config and maybe just add color UI. And obviously this still works, which was kind of expected. But what happens if, oh yeah, actually this didn't work. I have to make this work, I have to cd here and use it. So in theory, in the moment I want to do anything with that in GitPython, it would fail. So actually I probably should take this one here and then administer some IPython to the mix. So I can import git, get my repo, add this path, and that's still working, that's good. I can get a config reader, and that's also good. Or no, actually that's just a method. Okay, so like this, that's fine. See, this is where it stops. Now I have to figure out what the problem is, right? How do I get GitPython to fail on this one? And yeah, it would totally help if I would get this information. And as I'm not particularly happy to deal with this, I will totally skip over this if I don't get anything quickly. So what happens if I try to get color UI here? Well, it takes 3 arguments. What is it? Is there, okay, self-section option. I think it's get that was overridden, huh? Get was the smart one. Yeah, let's see. There should be one that is kind of more easily handled. Okay, file contains parsing errors. And the same problem doesn't happen if you do it with Git, I suppose. So what happens if I try to get the value? Yeah, I actually don't know how to do that. -- get. So if I want to get color, key does not contain a section color. So maybe color.ui. Okay, so it returns nothing instead. If it's color dot, yeah, what else is there? Core file mode, then probably it works. Core file mode, true. I see. Yeah, so I guess I will acknowledge this. Is it possible to get the anything out of there using GitPython, like core file mode? Probably not, because it can't parse it, huh? Excuse me. Did that not work just a moment ago? Oh, interesting. So the first time it tries to parse it and fails, and then it's kind of in some error state, and magically get doesn't work at all anymore. That is interesting. Takes 3 arguments to given. Okay. So let's try get value. Color UI. So that might be something I can use here. Oh. And that magically works now. That's very interesting. So core file mode. True. So if the key doesn't exist, what happens? Cool. So it kind of works, but get is broken, huh? No. Get actually wants to have this. It wanted to have this all the time. So again, why could I? That's really interesting. So it works after one attempt to do it. Maybe there is a way to fix this easily. Well, I think oh, damn it, what happens here? Weird terminal. It doesn't really work as expected. Anyway, so I think I can do a release on this one and then get a new reader. R, did I call it R? Yeah. So reader is r.config reader. And now a get on any kind of section probably fails because it has parsing errors. Okay. And then it works. Amazing. So let's see. Sure, I would probably have to write a test now because I can reproduce it. It should also be relatively easy to write a test because that is just fixture-based stuff we are talking about. Test config, C, and there is lots of stuff happening with fixtures here. Read, write, fixture, C. So that's the git config parser that we are using. Yeah, so let's do it right away. If I intend to not fix it, or to just say, well, you have to provide kind of sane configuration, then I should at least have a test for this that kind of verifies that we do still fail. But the behavior that we have here, that it fails the first time and the second it works, is something I would like to make consistent, either to succeed all the time or to fail all the time, right? Test empty config values. So let's see. So in order to test this, I guess I would create a new fixture. Let's see, git config, maybe even with Sublime Text, git config, and then config with empty values. So I will just add 2. So because we should still be able to read the ones that work. So let's choose color UI. And yeah, I should also open the default one here just to see it's tab based. Okay. Then we use this one here, file mode, and that should be it. It should be good enough. And it's kind of with empty value. Can I rename this here? No, I cannot, not easily. Not without clicking. And I do not like using the mouse. for this stuff. Yeah, that's, now I use the mouse anyway. Well, empty value. There we go. All right, so I shall open this one. Oh yeah, this mem cache is only needed in case I want to write to this, but right now I do not want this. So where's a read-only config parser? What is this? All right, that's just a path, it seems. Okay, so I just stuffed in, let's call it CR, and this is just fixture path with, yeah, git config, I suppose. Git config with empty values. Yeah, that's all I need. So git config with empty value. And that shall be the path to open. I expect this to work. Read only true, please. And now I expect that core get core file mode, that this is true. Should read keys with values. And yeah, what should it do? What should it do with in case there is no value? I think it can throw there, but the point is that it shouldn't throw here, right? Ideally. Let's see if the config parser system is it's a mess. It's based on the ini config parser that Python ships with, and that is a bad example on parsers anyway. I dumped so much time into this to make it work acceptably well for GitPython, but it's a part that I don't want to look at anymore. Okay, so test empty files, test empty config values, empty config value, let's rename it as well. So nose test 2.7, git test config. I think it's M to just exclude a few ones. Empty config value. It should run exactly one test, and we can reproduce it. Awesome. Assure data present, la la la. It reads it. It even happens in our implementation. That is kind of good because it means it should be under our control. And yeah, let's look at it before I get into making an hypothesis. The exception is rethrown. UI, yeah, basically where do I set this? E starts out as none. La la. Where is it set explicitly? Okay. So we do not override existing errors, but we start out at 1. Okay, so I think the entire parsing implementation has been moved up 1 level so that we can actually control it. A direct copy of the Py2.4 version. Yeah, so that we have, yeah, so we should be able to fix it in a way. And this one here, if this matches, we are happy. If this doesn't match, we are not happy. So let's look at this. Yeah. And this is exactly where, oh no, actually this is exactly where we probably want no equal sign. Here we want an equal sign, and then there is a value following. Yeah. So again, what should happen? What should happen if there is no value? We probably want to ignore it and say there is nothing. So we just pretend, or we just say that there is no such value, but we don't want to consider it a parsing error. So if it's just an option, we could, what is this? So it uses the automatic string concatenation that Python has. So it's hi ho, that should be one string hi ho. See, that's how that works. Awesome. So I can basically take this opt value only and put the string here, which is a value with all the permitted characters, at least. Sorry, a key or an option with all the permitted characters, and can drop this right here. Oh, wait a moment. I think I cannot. No, it will not just resolve it. That's no, that doesn't work. So now I have to start concatenating these things, which makes it a bit uglier. But yeah, what can I do? I have to. So this, and we are within a call here, so that should be something it can handle as well. So we go like this, and that's not too ugly either. I think that's acceptable to me. Flake might hate it, but yeah, that should work. So now we have this up value only, and I guess before I consider a mismatch here, if it's not multi-line, that's good. So we do not parse. Parsing error. 341. Where's the raising? At the end it happens. Yeah, so let's see. So all this means is that there is no match. Good. Check if it's a single line or an option with no value. It just ignored by Git. So, by the way, do I compile this? I think I should compile this. Yeah, source or something. So here we put the source, and then we can compile this as well. So recompile O value only source. There we go. Thank you. And now I can just run another match on it and say, well, if that happens to be one, and we just ignore the catch groups here, then it's something. So if we match this line, then we are all good. But if we do not match this line, then we do the error handling here, and that's a self. Awesome. So let's see how that works. That could do it for us. Should read keys with values. That is true. Is this true even? Maybe it's false. Config with empty value. Oh yeah, that should be totally true. But what is it? That's just, maybe I'm, what's this? At least it didn't fail anymore. That's good. What do we get here? We get a string true. I think it's get value that we want to use. And then it converts it to an actual value. Cool. And the other one should just not exist, right? So if you try to get that, then it's, I think, color UI. Then you would expect some sort of error, right? Some sort of exception. For now, I just pretend it's true, which it is not. But I just want to see what it does first. Okay, it's a no option error. That's fine. Self fail unless raises, no option error. Where is that coming from? I have no clue. We will figure it out eventually. That's the call. Thank you. Oops. So no option error. Well, it probably comes in from no object. I have it here. No, probably from config parser, huh? And there's even some special handling here. Ooh, CP no option error. Section constraint. Do I keep these errors here? No, here's just a... No, apparently not. Is there anything else? No. That I'm missing? Sidebar. Well, I guess I can just put it here because of the config parser special case and then import it from my own module just to be sure that I get it right. So we just put the no option error here, even though I don't like it. It's just for testing, and now I would pollute kind of the module namespace just for the purpose of making my tests easier. Yeah. Let's have a look at the test imports first. Maybe it imports config parser. No, it doesn't. Yeah, well. Yeah, I could also just check for exception, but that's not precise enough. I can just import CP. Yeah, let's import CP. So that's my own. So it's CP, huh? Yes, it is. It is CP, no option error. In theory, let's see. No module, module object has no attribute. What? Is that mine? Get config. Yes, that's mine. And it should have, oh. No, wait, I should have it. It's in here. It's totally in here. Let's see. So CP is, oh, it's the Python config parser. Oh, I misread it. It's actually from git import CP. So here's where I get my stuff from. Yeah, never mind. So that should work now. Awesome. Cool. Let's do the flake test. Tox E flake 8. Like so. And the typical problem. Okay, of course. 217. Doesn't like that. And then 220 blank line at end of file. Okay, that should work now. And if that works and the tests work, which they do, we're good. That should be added. Here we go. Here we go. Actually, you know, I changed the parser. I might as well have broken something. So let's give it a little test run here while we are preparing the commit. Like so. Let's verify. It's not totally silly. Source. Yeah, I actually don't like this. I don't like the style. Not at all. I mean, the config parser is code that I dislike, but we don't have to make it uglier than it already is, right? So apt op value only source, like this. It's kind of for my internal use only. I could as well delete it so that nobody else uses it. Why does it not like that? Oh yeah, because it's Del. We're not in JavaScript. We're in Python. Good. So that probably is better. Probably maybe. And I shall just open up these shells as I need them. Good. Let's fix this one. Yeah, like that. Cool. Let's run the test one more time, just a config test to be sure. And now we can prepare the commit. Fix config. Actually, I forgot how this looks like. Yeah, it's a column there. Fix config. Ignore empty values. Config file. And that definitely closes 341, 349. Thank you, memory, for mutating every little piece I put into you, but I shall handle this by just not trusting myself at all when it comes to replaying stuff that I should know. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Similar to Git, we now ignore options which have no value. Previously, it would show, it would not handle it consistently. And report an error or throw an exception, throw a parsing error the first time the cache was built. Afterwards, it was fully usable though. Now we specifically check for the case of no value options. Instead, something like that, and push, and we are done. Thanks for watching and have a great day.